So if you've broke a axle like this, these do happen once in a while. I mean, they're pretty tough, but everything can break. And these axles, for both sides, the back, they're the Traxxas X01 metal drive shaft. They're like $60 on up, depending on where you get them. And if you break one, you're thinking, oh great, I got to spend $60 again. But luckily, there's a cheaper alternative, and this is it. You can just buy, there's the part, 6453, stub axle, rear. You can just buy this part, $9 for two of them, and fix it so it's still a lot cheaper than paying $60. And this is how you fix it. Okay, so we're going to take out this rear axle. Just take out this grub screw back here. Take that grub screw out, and then the shaft will just come right out. As you can see, this is pretty used, dirty. This boot right here is torn, ripped. I'll probably maybe put a little more grease in it after I put it back together. Okay, so here's the drive shaft out. I have to slide this little boot that's on here. Slide this back. This holds the grease in there and keeps everything moving smoothly. Just slide that back. You can pull this whole shaft out if you want. It just slides into here with grease, and it moves freely. I don't think I'll take it apart, but you can put some grease back in here. And what you need to do, there's a little pin in here. You can see it on both sides. Push on that to get it started. It'll pop out the other side. Pull that pin out, and that will come right apart. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Here is the whole broken one. Then we're going to put this new part back in place of it. And they're both the same, either one, doesn't matter. And this will replace that broken one. And literally, this is a $5 fix. So instead of replacing a whole $60 drive shaft, it's a $5 broken piece. Not a big deal. And it's not that hard to fix. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. Looks like new again. You can check to see there's not a lot of grease in there, so I will probably put a little bit of grease in here so it's not just completely dry. Also, there's a couple different ways to put the grease in. You can go like this and get it down in the boot like that. That's one way to do it. Or you just put it around in here, and you can do, I'm doing both just to make sure it's good and greased. Then what you do is right where the little hole is in there has to line up with this hole, and then you slide the pin in. It's a little tricky. The grease almost helps stabilize it. I'm gonna put this pin in to get it started, and then slide that in, slide the pin in. I'd have to wiggle it around a little bit, and now it's in place there. Then slide the boot back over, and have to work your way around. Get it on there, and then after you got the boot on, wipe off that grease so it doesn't just fly all over after you put it back in and drive for the first time. And now it's as good as new. Got plenty of grease in there. This also can slide off. This rubber boot right here slides off. This pulls out, and you can re-grease some grease in here. This works really well, so I'm not even going to do it because it doesn't need it. This one is torn. It's been torn since, I don't know, it's been torn a while. I don't know if it's worth even, I'll probably try to slip a little bit of grease in there just to, you can see that's gunged up there. So what I'll do, push the pin through, take that out, slide that out, clean this up. You can also buy those little boots. I should almost done that. Should almost bought a new little boot for it, but so that's pretty clean. Now I'll clean out this end. And it's been, I think I ripped that boot probably shortly after I put these on. So it's been running with a torn boot for over a year. So it's not too important then. So I got that cleaned out. I'm going to put the pin, just get the pin started in there, line up where the hole is, right there. Sometimes you gotta wiggle it around, slide it back in, and then slide this back over. I'll probably in the future order a new boot for it, but it, like I said, it ripped off right away. I think it's just because that spot spins so much. There's so much movement and travel in it that it rips right away. So I'm afraid if I replace it, it's going to happen the same thing right away. So it might be a waste of money if I do. So there, re-grease that. You can grease the shaft, but this seal is still perfect and moves easily, so I'm not even going to mess with it. Okay, now you're just going to re-put the drive shaft back in. You're going to line up this hole. Right there. And then put the grub screw back in. I always turn it counterclockwise just to, at first, to make sure I got it started right, so you're not cross-threading it. And then it's all put back in, and then come up here, undo this, put your bearings in, and then you'll be back in action, back in the RC action.